What's up, everyone? It's Caddy with Money Investing. So here we are with another day in the markets, another potential setup here. So Tesla gapped up 2.7%. We're trading as high as $675. Yesterday we talked about this pattern. We'll go over Tesla, we'll go over NIO, we'll go over Palantir, Apple, and a lot of other stocks. So welcome, Jason, Bruce, G, Quinn. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining in. So here we are with the NASDAQ up a little bit over 54 basis points, half a percentage point, and the S&P is up over 45. Let's take a look at the Dow Jones. We are up for the Dow a little bit over 42 basis points. So definitely seeing a little bit of a rally here. Once again, the market's continuing on that pattern. The real question is if the momentum is going to hold up or if we're going to see any type of a pullback intraday or any type of a correction. So looking to a super opening, yes we are. Everything is green pre-market. Yes it is. So very excited about today's opening. But again, the real question is if we're going to continue to see some type of a push higher or if we're going to see a little bit of a pullback. So alright, so morning audio is echoing. Is it echoing? Let me know in the live chat if you guys can hear me without any issues, and if you guys can see the screen without any issues as well. So let me know if everything's working without any technical difficulties. Alright, so audio is good. Perfect. Sounds good. So what levels does Tesla need to hold up to break above the descending triangle? We'll go over that in just a second. No issues. Perfect. Good for me. Perfect. Alright, should be working without any issues here. Let's take a look. So Tesla, we're going to break that down first. This is the Tesla stock chart. In our yesterday's video, I mentioned that I would not be surprised if we do see a gap up for Tesla stock. And then we're going to be trading at 675. That was the level that we were watching. If you guys remember that video, that's the intersection inside this sort of descending triangle. And if you see inside this circle, that is kind of aligned inside, again, the lower highs represented by this red line we see on the chart, and the higher highs, right, inside this sort of uptrending pattern. So higher highs and higher lows. So same thing happened. Again, same thing happened here on April 13th, right? So I also mentioned it on our Discord. So Upstart about to break out, agree, yes, Upstart has been pushing higher. So that was one of our swing trades for this week. It consolidated for a little bit, and now we're seeing that breakout higher moving forward. But for Tesla, you'll notice that on April 13th, we were up over 8.6%. And actually, let me open up a new chart so I can clearly identify that very quickly. So we're gonna do that over here. So you'll notice that Tesla on this day, right here on April 13th, broke out over 8.6% right here. What happened the next day, right? The next day we actually gapped up. We traded as high as 780, 775. And this was a previous support here. So if I were to kind of identify this previous support, which acted as a resistance here, so all support, back tested resistance, we gapped up, we got rejected, and intraday we were down over 3.995%, even though we broke out over those moving averages. So, and if you were to identify this lower high, that was perfectly aligned, right? So this right here was the resistance. So that was the intersection here from a previous support acting as a resistance, and the lower highs here inside that descending triangle. That was kind of like the beginning of that descending triangle. Moving forward, you'll notice that we're seeing a very similar pattern, right? We were up a little bit over 5.27% yesterday. We're gapping up to 675. If you extend this line, it kind of sits perfectly aligned at that resistance, 675 inside that descending triangle. So in my opinion, if we can get a clean breakout over 675 on heavier volume, so yesterday's volume was good, 31 million versus 22 million, that's the average 10-day volume. So if we can get a successful breakout over 675, a close above that level, on heavier volume, then I would feel a lot more confident for us to see a follow through and some more continuation, because we're trading above the moving averages, we're trading outside that descending triangle, we're trading above that resistance as well. So that would be a much smoother and cleaner breakout to the upside so that we can see some more upside here. But that right there is the near term resistance intraday. Again, we're gapping up to 675, and that would be the level to watch right now. All right, so good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining in. So we got 126 people here. Make sure that you guys drop a like. If you're new to the channel, make sure that you subscribe as well. Really appreciate that. So Apple is up another 70 basis points. Palantir pulling back a little bit, but still up over 88 basis points. We've got NIO up another 1.4%, and of course Tesla up over 2.5%. Let's take a look at AMC. slightly down about 72 basis points, but I did read up a little bit on this. So AMC's short interest has actually gone up a little bit higher, so now it's sitting roughly at 14%. And with the potential bull flag that we're seeing once again, AMC could see some type of a breakout in the future once again if the volume picks up. The only concern I have with AMC right now is the volume. The volume has actually been declining, so 116 million shares only that were traded yesterday. If I bring up the volume, you'll notice it's just been declining, for the last like 4 to 5 days. Coming from June 15th, we've just seen declining volumes and 4 consecutive days of less than 200 million shares traded. So we did get a little bit of a breakout here from this bull flag that we identified. It was kind of like this one. We had a swing trade plan on this one as well, and we did get a breakout, but right now we're seeing just some consolidation right above that 50 simple moving average. So again, there's a lot of consolidation on declining volumes. There does need to be a lot of volume that needs to pick up in order for us to see a breakout in the future. All right, so let's take a look at other stocks here. So any short-term price to sell some Tesla. So Marcus right now 675 is the resistance that we have on the chart right now. And again, if we can get a successful breakout, then I could see some more upside. But if we see any type of momentum kind of weakening intraday, and again, we'll kind of monitor the 5-minute chart here to see what the intraday price action looks like for Tesla. You'll notice a pre-market we traded as high as 678, right? So that was kind of like a double top resistance for Tesla stock. So 678 was double top here, and this right here was 677, and right now we're seeing a little bit of a pullback once again. So I think that's the resistance level that everybody needs to focus on in the near term, at least intraday today. And then NEO, of course, $46 up another 1.4%. That's kind of like the range. 46.30 is the resistance level. The high for the day, look at that. Well, I didn't even look at that until now. So high for the pre-market, 46.31, right? So 46.31 high for NEO pre-market, and 778 or 678 is Tesla's high pre-market. All right, so let's take a look at Corsair Gaming. So Corsair Gaming, CRSR had a huge spike after the short squeeze that happened. Not a short squeeze, but basically, well, there were short interest really high, but this was mostly because of Wall Street Bets. I think Corsair was like 3rd or 4th most mentioned or most popular stock on Wall Street Bets. We saw a huge spike, and now we came all the way back down, and right now we're seeing a little bit of a rally once again with a jump of 2% yesterday. We're up another 62 basis points, but we're back trading kind of like inside this range, inside this horizontal pattern. You'll notice they were trading inside this sort of $30 support all the way as high as $35 resistance, and we're trading kind of inside that resistance and support level for Corsair. So this was a very same pattern, almost identical pattern to what we saw for Palantir. You'll notice Palantir also had a huge breakout, all the way to highs of $50, close to $45, and then immediately after that we kind of rolled over all the way back down to 21. So I think it's a very similar pattern for Corsair Gaming. That we're seeing the spike based on short interest, short squeeze, and now we're back down. So I think the fundamentals are the big drivers for the company moving forward. That's what's going to drive Corsair back up to like $40, $50 per share. And I could see that happening in the future as the company continues to grow in the gaming sector. So that's going to be the range to watch for Tesla intraday. Let's take a look at Roblox. Roblox was another trade here. We're down a little bit, 40 to 40 basis points. So that 21 EMA is going to be the level to watch, $86. That's sitting roughly there. And pre-market, you'll actually notice that we are getting rejected at that level at close to $86, right? The high for pre-market, $86.40. So we were actually up pre-market for Roblox, and right now we're seeing a bit of a pullback here. And it's no surprise because on the daily chart, that is the 21 EMA. So $86 is the level to watch on the 21 EMA, and pre-market we were trading as 86.40, so we are seeing a bit of a pullback here after testing that resistance. So keep a close eye at the 21 EMA. A breakout is important for us to see a successful follow through and some more continuation for Roblox. All right, all we need is 35 today on Corsair. That is correct. That is the resistance. That's the breakout that we need to see moving forward. So what's happening with Clover Health? I think Clover Health is now starting to catch some momentum once again. This is again a stock that is highly shorted, and now we're starting to see that volume pick back up. So volume is very important, right? For any stock that we see a breakout for a momentum or a move to the upside, volume is just so very important to make that move happen. You'll notice that the volume kind of died down, so we didn't quite get that breakout that we were looking for from our swing trade perspective. In fact, we broke down on very low volume, and as soon as the volume kicked in, So yesterday we had, over 152 million shares traded. That's almost twice as many the average 10-day volume, right? So it was up over 9.5%. We're up another 8.6% today because the volume once again is much higher. So volume is very important, right? That's why AMC, for it to see a breakout, there needs to be volume that needs to pick up moving forward. All right, so thoughts on Microsoft. So Microsoft is already trading at near all-time highs. There's not really much thoughts other than fundamentally speaking. It traded past beyond my target. Earlier this year, we talked about Microsoft as a cloud and gaming stock. My price target was 250, and it's already trading at 265. So it's trading at a much higher price now. And again, congratulations to Microsoft and everyone who's invested in it. Almost a $2 trillion. We in fact hit a $2 trillion market cap a couple days ago when Microsoft was hitting new all-time highs. So absolutely incredible. 263, 260 is going to be the next support level, and of course the resistance is quite unknown, similar to what we're seeing for Google, because they've never traded at these levels ever before. So we're just going to have to wait and see where that next resistance is going to be for Google and Microsoft moving forward. So XBank offering and Hong Kong IPO, yeah. So I read that this morning. I think they're going to be offering, I think it was close to 45 or 50 million shares. Could be wrong, but that's kind of like the number that I read. They're going to be offering some here, and then of course some over in Hong Kong as well moving forward. So let's take a look at XBank here. It was up over 4% yesterday. We're up another 1.39% today. Continuing to kind of validate some of those moving averages. And on the daily chart again, trading below those 21 EMA, and look at that, the 200 SMA is just now starting to form, right? We're just now starting to develop that 200 simple moving average. That's the blue line you guys see on the chart. So again, that's the range for XBank between 46 and 37.60. It's kind of a wide range, very similar to what we have for NEO as well. But that right there is going to be the level to watch. And NEO, of course, nothing's changed from the previous analysis. We're still up another 1.45%, but 46.30 is a level that we hit pre-market, and then we got rejected at that level. So very quickly, resistance level to watch for Tesla, 675. That's the level that we need to see a breakout over intraday. And for NEO, I would watch 46 to 30. That's the level that we need to see a breakout in order for us to see any potential to reach us 49.50, highs of $50 per share going into next week. So those right there are going to be some levels to watch. DraftKings, of course, has rallied from that support at 44.50 levels. We're up another 91 basis points, but it's kind of struggling at those moving averages. And again, we've got the 21, the 50, and the 200 SMA sitting right there. If you can get a successful breakout over $53, $55, then I would be a lot more confident for DraftKings as well. Let me see if I have the chart available somewhere for DraftKings. But NEO is starting to pull back a little bit pre-market, and Tesla is just consolidating sideways. Got Apple still up a little bit, AMC slightly down. Let's take a look at Palantir. Slightly up over 1.14%, and Amazon is slightly up as well, 32 basis points, trading as 35.15. CrowdStrike has also been on a significant rally, right? Coming in from lows of 178, it's up over 44%. Absolutely incredible. All right, which one were we talking about? DraftKings, very quickly. So AMD matrix, we'll just go over AMD just a second. But 44.50 was kind of like the level, and again, that's the resistance all the way as $55 for DraftKings. And again, we're starting to form some type of higher lows here, so that definitely goes to show that we're seeing some momentum pick up for DraftKings. The only question is if we can get that breakout or not over these moving averages sitting roughly at $50, $51 per share. All right, so let's take a look at AMD very quickly. I know that it was trading at over $84 yesterday. So we're up another 60 basis points. So again, $84 is the new support level. We'll go ahead and turn that level into a support after today's close, trading above the 200 SMA. But my personal opinion again remains unchanged on AMD stock. Like, this is a $110, $115 stock in my opinion. I mean, market cap at just about 100 billion is absolutely nuts. Like, Nvidia is trading at almost $500 billion market cap for almost as much as the same revenues right now. Of course, their potential for revenue with cryptocurrencies and gaming and all the other things is quite high, but I feel like AMD is gaining more market share in the cloud server business. And they're working with companies like Tesla and Google, and they've got a lot of potential with the revenue guidance that they provide us and the double-digit growth rates that we have seen with great balance sheet numbers and management as well. So again, AMD $84 support. If it comes down to $80, I'll be buying. But $88 is the next target, at least a near-term resistance level, all the way past over $95 to $100 per share. So nothing's really changed on AMD's analysis. Let's take a look at Caterpillar very quickly. So Caterpillar did get a little bit of a reversal here. So again, $216 is the next resistance. So I'll go ahead and actually turn this level into a resistance. We're slightly above that level. So yesterday we were trading as $216.77. Then we closed at $213. So there were sellers present at that level for Caterpillar. So we did sell off. But right now we're back up another 1% moving forward. So $216 is the new resistance. We need to see a close above that level moving forward. So one question, how do you set up your VWAP technical indicators? So VWAPs, I usually use them on the intraday, like 1 minute or 5 minute charts. So for example, this right here is the VWAP indicator on, Dow Jones index. So all I really do is you just go over to here, just type in the VWAP study. That's the one that I use, standard deviation bands V2, and then I use the default values. So whatever these values are, just use the default values for VWAPs. And again, I don't use them for like longer term time frames. So I actually have them invisible here. So yeah, those are like hidden on the longer term time frames. All right, let's take a quick look on the VIX and the VXN. We'll check the yields and then we'll kind of prepare for the market open. We got about 6 minutes left. So VIX is down a little bit over 5.7%. And we are pretty much trading below that 15.6 level, so we are breaking down even further. The VXN is not quite open yet, so we're gonna see where that trades moving forward. Let's take a quick look on the yields. Down about 23 basis points, continuing on this downtrend, trading as low as 1.487. So pulling back once again. Let's take a quick look on the energy prices. So we got US oil down about 76 basis points, trading under $73 per barrel. That's crude. And then we talk about Brent, under $75 per barrel, down about 74 basis points as well. So energy prices slightly down, but not by a huge amount. Let's take a look at some of the commodities here very quickly. So we got copper futures, which are down from 4.87. They went down 15% to 4.1. Now we're seeing a little bit of a recovery. So copper futures again, so copper prices in general, same exact pattern that we saw for the Dow Jones, for the value play, consistently kind of validating some of those moving averages. And I know that, in the morning, talking about copper and lumber futures is kind of strange, but it's important for the markets, right? It's this commodity prices have been in focus as they've actually absolutely gone crazy and parabolic. So this right here was kind of like the pattern. So we were pushing higher, validating some of those support levels. It happened, not once, twice, like 3 times. And this was the breakdown that we saw for copper. So this was the breakdown. Right now we're seeing a back test of those old support levels and moving averages as a resistance. Talking about lumber, we're down to 879. And this was a drop of 51% from highs of well over 1750 levels. So same pattern, validating some of those moving averages here, continuing to push up and until finally we broke down, and now we're testing that 200 simple moving average. And then gold and silver, of course, slightly green. Gold trading as low as 1784, and silver is at $27. All right, so let's take a look at the markets here. We got the QQQ still up over 58 basis points, pretty much trading in range-bound pattern. So that right there is going to be the range for the Nasdaq ETF, and this right here is going to be the S&P 500. We've got a resistance for the S&P pre-market as high as 424, and this right here is going to be the Dow Jones, up just over 40 basis points. Another stock that we had on the list was going to be NNDM. So yesterday we had a really strong day for NNDM, up over 7%. Pre-market it's up another 23 basis points. So the target again is going to be sitting roughly at $9.33. That would be the level to watch. And Clover Health is now at $15. That's incredible. Definitely pushing higher aggressively at, wow, so 8.4%. Yeah, so definitely seeing that volume kick in for the stock. Yes, so we did look at lumber prices. We will look at the banking sector. We went over NEO. We went over Tesla. CCIV is also very range bound. We got about 3 minutes left for the markets to open, so very quickly. CCIV also has a range right now in between $27. That's the next resistance I would watch. And of course, we're seeing a breakout over this previous resistance. We did get one, then we kind of rolled over once again, and then I think there was an interview that was posted from the CEO of CCIV, which basically mentioned they're going to be starting deliveries very soon, which is what's acting as a positive catalyst, as far as I'm aware, for the company news. So, all right, Lucid Motors opened New York City flagship studio, and I think there was some other catalyst from the company as well. Yeah, so $27 is going to be the next resistance level. Support's going to sit at 21 all the way as low as this 24.40, 24.50 levels for CCIV. So yeah, let's take a look. Wall Street Bets is praising Clover Health. Yeah, this was also another stock that's been heavily shorted, right? So it's no surprise why we're seeing a little bit of a rally here. So Pubmatic is also another one that probably has a lot of short interest, trading at $36, and this was kind of like the analysis, and right now we're just kind of fighting that resistance at $36 per share. There is definitely more upside for this company. I mean, it's a profitable company, it's a small company, but it's in the software as a service business. So we'll see if we get that breakout all the way to highs of $42, $43. Today is going to be fun. Yes, it will be fun. So we got about 2 minutes left. Dow Jones picking up a little bit, 53 basis points in the green. And this right here is going to be our tech watch list. So Apple is seeing a little bit of a pullback and is up over 55 basis points. And Tesla, 675. What do you guys think? Let me know in the live chat if Tesla's going to hold up 675 and break out even higher, or if we're going to close below 675. So are we going to close above 675 or below 675? What do you guys think? Tesla run. Yes, so Swaggy stocks I think is a good sentiment check on where Wall Street Bets it mentions and what stocks are they watching. So all right, above, below, 700, close above, below, close above, below. What do I think? I think 675 is going to be a resistance for Tesla. Unfortunately, pre-market, I mean, we're getting rejected at 677. That's the level, and even just from the technical analysis on the daily patterns, it's happened again. It's happened previously in the past, which is exactly here. Same exact pattern, like it was almost identical. We had a really strong day. The following day, we gapped up, traded all the way at 780. Everyone was excited, and then we saw kind of the pattern roll over intraday. I'd be surprised if the pattern continues to hold up above 670. Let's take a look. So 675, trading almost exactly inside this red circle. Let's just see. All right, so this right here is going to be the pattern here. So 675, we're trading almost exactly at that level. All right, let's take a look. So the morning pullback is normal. I would give it like at least 15-20 minutes to really see where the stock settles, because usually there's a lot of volume that kind of kicks in right at open, 9:35 a.m. So we'll see where it actually closes. But yeah, tech definitely higher on the day. We've got a lot of stocks turning green. Nasdaq up over 64 basis points here. We got Clover Health up over 7%, trading as 1484. Next up, we've got Tesla and Square up 2.5% each. CCIV 2573. I got an alert on Spotify. Let me just check that very quickly. So Spotify. All right, so we're up another 1.5%. So this was the complete trade analysis from the weekend. Again, successful breakout from the ascending triangle above those moving averages, and right now we're seeing a little bit of a follow through and some continuation. The target on this one is a little bit aggressive, only because the next resistance I see is going to be the 200 SMA at 278, all the way as $300. So this is a bit of an aggressive trade as to like the target is going to be further out. Like it's not going to happen like in the next few days versus like a few months, so to speak, if you get some solid momentum on Spotify to jump another 12%. So but we're still kind of like making our way up there. We're still pushing higher. So we'll see if we actually eventually get up there or not. All right, so let's take a look at Tesla once again. All right, so we're seeing a little bit of a red candle here, right at the open. And again, there's a gap, right, from yesterday's close at 657. There is a small gap, if you guys can notice that. Let me just highlight that in a different color. So let me just remove that. There is a gap here that Tesla basically left after gapping up today. So, all right, let me just do this. I don't know. Let me just put this in kind of like a white color. So that is the gap, you know, that Tesla basically left. We'll see if we actually do get a fill for that gap, or if Tesla finds some support and kind of rebounds from that level. All right, so we're getting that spike in the NASDAQ here, up another 68 basis points here. The Dow Jones up 58, and the S&P is up 58 as well. Huge push on the QQQ ETF, $350. It's an all-time high, you guys. Just think about that for a second. In the history of the NASDAQ and the QQQ ETF, you've never traded at these levels. Incredible. Like, this is the highest level the NASDAQ's ever seen. There we go. So 14,373 is the high, or the all-time high for the NASDAQ index. All right, let's take a look at. But there we go. Big wick, and a Tesla now down to 668. Getting that rejection here. There we go. So we're seeing that pullback for Tesla stock. NIO also with a pullback here. Now only up 46 basis points, but again, there's a lot of, when we see these gap ups, people usually tend to take profits right at the open. When we see gap downs, huge gap downs, people usually see them as opportunities to kind of buy in. So again, the real question was, you know, is the momentum going to hold up, right? Nicholas says, I knew this was going to happen too. Yeah, we can't completely rule out 675 as a breakout just yet. We'll just have to wait and see if Tesla can find a support, you know, at close to 650, 660 levels, and then try to make our way back up to 675. If we get a double resistance, if we get a resistance once again intraday, then it becomes difficult, because then it really needs volume to break out over that level. And on the daily chart, you'll notice that we are starting to come down a little bit. So this is going to be moved down slightly because we did fill that gap a little bit. So now we've got 666 all the way as low as 656, a $10 point move in Tesla to kind of fill that gap. All right, so let's take a look at some other stocks here. So yeah, Renji, that's also kind of like a supply zone, because if you look at the cost breakdown, you know, there's a majority of investors sitting roughly anywhere between like 650 to 750 levels. So we're like literally trading in between a majority of the cost breakdown. So Nvidia is unstoppable. Oh my God, I swear to God, this thing, is it trading at 800? All right, so 774, 776 is the high for the day. Man, just the stock split. It's the stock split. If Amazon, imagine if Amazon does like a stock split, like 10 to 1 or something like that. Amazon needs to do one. But Nvidia, like absolutely crazy, 1.76% move. Let's take a look at AMD, up 1.6%, 1.7%. So we're seeing that rally for AMD as well. It's crazy, right? Because AMD is seeing that morning push higher, Nvidia is seeing that morning push higher, and Tesla's seeing a little bit of a pullback. All right, so NIO recovered fairly quickly. So MACD on NIO just crossed. What does that tell you? All right, never mind. Okay, but yeah, on what time frame, you know, are you looking at for the MACD, and then I can take a look at it. So 46.30 is the level, you guys. So 46.25 high for the day for NIO. That's the level that we're trading at right now. And for Tesla, 675, of course, is the one that we're watching. And we're starting to see some type of recovery back up. So DraftKings up another 1.75%. I'm actually going to close out of that chart. All right, let's take a look at the NASDAQ. Look at that. The QQQs, 350, up 83 basis points. Incredible move to the upside. And then we got Dow Jones up another 65 basis points. We've got the S&P up 56 basis points. So I'm up over 40% on Nvidia this year. Thank you for the inspiration. You're welcome, and congratulations. That's absolutely incredible. That's awesome. All right, so G says MACD crosses on the daily. All right, let's take a look. So VRTX has actually been on the watch. It's giving us an alert. Let's take a quick look on that. So we're seeing a little bit of a recovery. This, shout out to Mark for this play. We're going to be looking into this in a little bit more detail because this stock had a huge gap down. We're off the highs pretty substantially from 304. We're down about 37-38%, but it definitely warrants some more research on that, just from a fundamental and technical standpoint. All right, so let's take a look at NEO on this chart. All right, so buyers are stepping in. We're trading at 675 once again. What do you guys think? We're almost there. Breakout happening. 676 is actually the high from the day. So MACD on the daily chart. Gee, so if you look at the daily chart on NEO, we're actually... Okay, so you mean crossing down, I think. NEO just crossed. What does that tell you? Yeah, so we almost crossed. We are pretty much almost crossing, and we're just like hovering at that level. And again, I don't like to look at the intraday, daily MACD or RSI because it doesn't give us any direction. We're better off just looking at the 1 minute, 5 minute chart. But nonetheless, look at that AMC up, or AMC. Let's take a look. Up only 29-30 basis points, so pretty much flat, but $61 or $60 is going to be the level to watch for AMC. We're going to keep a close eye. I'm going to set some alerts here very quickly, so we get alerted as soon as we're making those breakouts, those moves for AMC. All right, something went off. All right, so Grow Generation went off, Spotify went off, VRTX went off. All right, going back to NEO. So 46.45, we're seeing that breakout over 46.30 levels. Palantir. Let's take a look at that one. So Palantir up another 88 basis points, 26.40, 26.50 levels, but NEO definitely seeing a push higher, right? 2%. A lot of buyers kind of stepping in, and look at the volume. The second 5 minute candle volume is much higher than the first one, as opposed to Tesla. The second one is actually lower. All right, so the volume has actually picked up on NEO. So this dip basically got bought up for NEO stock, and quite handsomely. So that makes me more confident that we may see some more upside for NEO stock. 1.7 million shares traded. That's a lot. And then for Tesla, let's take a look. 677, 675. That's the level. We're almost there. Come on, Tesla. 680. That's the level that we need to break out, so we can see some more upside here. For the Dow Jones, this is a 30-minute chart. The 5-minute chart, so 341 up another 75 basis points. So now competing with the NASDAQ here, up another 80 basis points. Both of them are, pretty much. And the SPY is up 0.5%. It's interesting, right? SPY is actually the one kind of lagging behind relative to the S&P and relative to the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ. Let's take a look at our relative performance chart here. So what's pushing higher? So healthcare. So you'll notice that healthcare is actually the one that's leading on the day. Healthcare and tech. So purple line up top, XLV is going to be healthcare. XLK is going to be tech. XLC is consumer staples, I believe. XLY is discretionaries, includes Amazon, Tesla. XLP is staples. XLC is communication services. So the one that's down is the yields. Then we got materials, financials, industrials, energies. Pretty much down in the negative. And then staples slightly flat, and tech and healthcare are the ones that are actually leading on the day. So there we go. So we're seeing a little bit of a pullback in the NASDAQ now, with the Dow Jones rallying over 79 basis points. Let's take a look at some of Dow 30 stocks. So Visa, Nike, Boeing, McDonald's, Microsoft, all in the green for the Dow Jones. And now the S&P is really taking off over 60 basis points as well. All right, so Tesla, again, seeing that resistance here at 675. So look at the April 14 5-minute for Tesla. That's actually a great point. Let's do that. Just to get a good handle on the price action here. I don't know if TradingView is going to allow me to go all the way back there for the 5-minute chart. Let's try it. So May, come down to April 14th. So that's 21st. All right, so here we are. This right here was the 8% jump that we saw for Tesla on that day. So this is April 13th, right? This was the 8.6% jump. Nicholas, great idea, by the way. So this right here was the intraday chart. So 778, at that time it was 775 and 778, kind of like around those levels. You'll notice that pre-market we traded as high as 786. As soon as the markets opened, so we sold off, we pushed up, same exact pattern right now, and then we consolidated for a little bit at 778, and then we saw a sell-off happen intraday. And this was leading up on April 14th, right into 1 hour into the trading session, we were down as low as 750. So let's take a look at the pattern now for Tesla. We'll notice that alright, so you'll notice that we're almost a very similar pattern here. We're just, the market knows 675. The market knows that's a resistance for Tesla. Like, we're just literally just trading at that level. Geez, Neo is such a tease. Yeah, 2.5% in the green. Apple pulling back 24 basis points. And we got Palantir down slightly. Let's take a look at AMD. Up 1.96, almost 2%. Pneumatic on the move. Here we go. Pneumatic is over $37, seeing a breakout, 5.5%. Incredible move to the upside here for Pneumatic. All right, so Fiverr up to 244. Upwork is 2.4. Spotify is up another 2%. We got Upstart up another 1.7. CarMax is up 1.7%. Autodesk 1.5. Peloton pulling back a little bit. Roblox and NDM are also pulling back slightly. So AMD definitely with the breakout here, and Nvidia 769. So we did see a little bit of a pullback. Nvidia, I mean, I feel like it's a bit too overbought. So Turbo says I own a ton of Pubmatic. That's awesome. That's incredible. Congratulations. Let's take a look at Trade Desk for a second. Huge move to the upside, up over 8%. Incredible move after the split, and this is after the split. This is also considering the Trade Desk was down. If you look at the daily pattern, Trade Desk was down quite a bit. From its all-time highs, we sold off a little bit over 52%. So we saw a rally leading up to the split, and now we're seeing a jump even higher on Trade Desk. Moving forward, considering that we were already down so much, it only makes sense why we're seeing an 8% jump after the split, as opposed to something like Apple, Tesla happened last year when we saw a drop after the split. Same goes true with Nvidia as well. Would not be surprised if we start, after the split, which is still about a month away. In July 20th, 4-1 stock split, that we see a little bit of pullback moving forward. But Tesla, man, just a lot of resistance there, right? Neo 4650 holding up above that level. And we have all the broader markets pretty much aligned together, with Nasdaq up 75, Dow Jones up over 80, and SPY's up over 61. Let's take a look at the Dow Jones here very quickly, because we may be crossing over our moving averages. So there we go. So we're starting to push higher above those moving averages once again. So we got the 21 and the 50 SMA to watch. All right. What other stocks are we going to be looking at very quickly? So the VXN is down over 2.88, and the VIX is down over 4.7. We were trading as low as 14 levels. That's incredible. So Silas, your view on Microsoft. So we actually went over Microsoft earlier. It's bullish over the long term about the fundamentals of the company. Great play when it comes to cloud and cloud services and gaming. But I feel like right now, of course, it's up over 30-40% year to date, or close to 20% year to date. But the rally has just been incredible for Microsoft, right? So I mean, Microsoft will give you opportunities to kind of buy in. So if I were to kind of point that out very quickly, it's the general trend for Microsoft has been this ascending pattern, right? This higher lows, that's this pattern. And what it'll do is it'll give you the opportunity to kind of buy when it retests that level. Once here, this right here was a drop for Microsoft. This right here was another drop for Microsoft. So all these are like buying the dip or buying opportunities for Microsoft because the overall trend is up. Like if I show you guys the monthly chart for Microsoft, it's disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting for Microsoft. All right, so Tesla's breaking out over 677. We'll tune into that just 1 second, but Microsoft's monthly chart is absolutely crazy. Considering that after the tech bubble burst, it took a long time for Microsoft to actually get on this trajectory once again. It almost took about 10 years for Microsoft to really start pushing, because if you look at 16 years, right? So from this 2000 area till 2016 area, we didn't really go anywhere. So that was a pretty lost decade for Microsoft, even though the company was doing fantastic. But this right here is the absolute beast of a move for Microsoft. So, it'll give you the opportunities to kind of buy in at those levels if you decide to monitor that trend line very closely. So if you do see a pullback, a little bit over 5.5%, 6% down to 250 levels, 250ish is going to be the level to watch for Microsoft. But overall, for the company, I'm particularly bullish for what it can do. So, all right, Tesla seeing a breakout over 678. 679 is the high for the day. Welcome on board. All right, let's take a quick look at Fubo TV. So Fubo, we actually had a swing trade on this from last week. My stop loss got triggered and we exited with an 11% gain on this one. The target is still at $38 near term. This right here is the near-term target at close to $35, but I would turn this level into a support for Fubo TV, right? That's going to be sitting at roughly $31.61 or $31.60ish level for Fubo. So again, we're seeing a breakout from this bull flag. It's just if the volume picks up, because yesterday was a declining volume day. So you'll notice that we only traded, let's take a look. So yesterday we only traded 14 million shares versus earlier we were closer to 20 million. So the volume needs to pick up for Fubo TV to actually take off once again to trade as $35 to as $38 per share moving forward. All right, Tesla 679 up 3.45% here. Seeing that rally with NEO up another 2%. 4630, we're still kind of hovering around that level. Advanced Micro Devices up almost 2%. Let's take a quick look on AMC. We're down a little bit over 1.4%. I want to take a look at Mara as well, because that's my crypto play, up 2% here, trading as $28. Anything under $30 or like closer to 25, like I'll continue to buy Mara. And of course, if Bitcoin continues to be very weak, sells off, I'll just buy more Mara stock. All right, so let's take a quick glance at the markets here. So we got the growth ETF up over 80 basis points and the value ETF up 36 basis points, which is interesting, even though the Dow Jones is up closer to 80 basis points and the NASDAQ is up over 75. Trade Desk up 7%. Grow Generation, this was actually something I was looking at as well, GRWG. For a breakout from this triangle pattern, right? So this was a descending triangle for a growth generation. The last couple of days we've seen a breakout for this one. Usually when these patterns form, the probability is that they break to the downside. Very rarely they break to the upside. So just from a probability standpoint, it didn't make sense to have a trade plan in place. But now that we're seeing that breakout, we could see a continuation or a follow through for this if this level at closer to $45 starts acting as a support level. Right, so we'll go ahead and turn this level into a support at close to $45.30. But definitely a strong breakout for this one. Let's take a quick look at BNGO because I feel like a lot of people are asking about that one. So this right here is the analysis on BNGO, right? We were trading in a downtrending channel, lower highs and lower lows, and then we saw a rally and then a breakout over 750. Traded as 955, 940 levels, and now we're seeing that pullback once again. So 750 is actually going to be a resistance level to watch for BNGO moving forward. And this right here kind of aligned with that 50 SMA, 630-ish. That's going to be the support level to watch for BNGO. So we did get that initial breakout over 105%, but 955 acted as a resistance, and right now we're seeing a bit of a pullback here. But if I were to bring up the moving averages, so the 50 EMA, we got the 21 EMA, so we're trading right above those levels, right? So that is potentially somewhat of a dip by the dip opportunity, even though we're down 21%. You know, this right here is or could be seen as some type of a bull flag for the pattern. So initial rally here for BNGO, and now we're seeing that validation of those moving averages. So this could be a setup for a low risk, high reward trade, where we could see a target back up to 955. It's going to be a jump of closer to 30%, while you're risking a little bit over 11% to see if you get a breakdown below that level. All right, so Pubmatic at $38. That's incredible. What time duration do you look at intraday? I look at the 1 minute, 5 minute, or the 30-minute charts for intraday patterns. So like the ones that we have here, these are 5-minute charts. So Nasdaq's stalling a little bit, and the Dow Jones flying up over 80 basis points, and so is the S&P 500. But NEO pulling back once again, 46.16. We got AMC down about 1%. We got Mara up over 2%. Apple, let's take a look. 37 basis points in the green. Let's take a look at Amazon. 40 basis points. So little bit things have changed. Tech has sold off. Tech is now down 14 basis points in this chart. Healthcare is up on the day. Let's go back to this 1-day chart since the markets have opened. Yep, so healthcare is still up closer to 59 basis points, and tech is actually flat now. It's in the middle. So right in the middle is the XLK. All right, so Tesla, man, if we watch Tesla, it goes down. If you're watching at something else, we get these alerts. So we might as well just keep to our charts at something else so that we keep getting these alerts for Tesla breaking out. So, all right, so we'll keep that alerts here, and we won't even watch Tesla stock, because when we watch, it pulls back. So yeah, going back to this chart here, so tech is pretty much flat, but energy is down because oil prices are down, slightly down, and we've got healthcare kind of leading the pack. What was I gonna say? But this right here is interesting pattern here for the Nasdaq. It's on the day, you'll notice they're forming some type of a. Look at that! I'm not making this up. Tesla breaking out over 680 once again. Seeing that up over 3.6%. Creating alert at 682. See if we can break that one. NEO's kind of validating those moving averages here. So the middle VWAP and the 21 EMA at 4630. Like we're literally at 4630, right? That's the level to watch on NEO stock. It's a middle level in the broader range. So 4630. That's the level of resistance. And then at 49.50 all the way is the resistance next, and 43 is the support. We're just like range bound in between that level right now. All right, so what I was saying was for the Nasdaq, it looks like we're forming some type of a bull flag intraday. Now the real question is, are we going to break out from this as we continue to kind of trade above the middle VWAP, or if we're going to see. I wish I would have hold Fiverr from our swing trade. That's true. I mean, but the whole idea is could have, would have, should have, right? We broke out over 230 as well. That was our resistance. That was our price target. And it really, it depends on your personal preference. But you're right. I mean, trade all those as 244, and we're literally trading so high right now. 244 is it? Let's take a quick look. So up another 2.5%, 244. So you're right. Definitely pushed up higher quite a bit. So Upstart is up another 3%. Again, my entry was at closer to 110. We didn't quite get to that low because the risk reward buying at 120, 125 is a little bit higher. It's a little bit different risk analysis here. So it really depends on the type of trader you are. If you're willing to take a little bit more risk, then feel free to enter at 120, 115, and we're up over 3%. We're already on our way to a reversal potentially. But if you want to be a little bit more conservative and be patient for that entry, then you may want to wait till 110. Of course, then you have the risk of the stock never coming down to that limit buy and flying without you. So it really depends on your risk tolerance for these swing trades. And again, with Fiverr, 230, that's the target. If you're comfortable, you can take profits. If you're not comfortable, you can let it run a little bit higher to see if it actually has a follow through. In this case, we did, but sometimes stocks get up to that resistance level and they pull back. Sometimes they don't get to that resistance level and they pull back already. So it really depends how you manage that trade in the future. It's different person to person. All right, so AMC is pulling back, down about 2%. Stop watching Tesla, let it grow. That's true. You should stop watching Tesla right now. All right, so QQQ is pulling back here, breaking down below that symmetrical triangle, but still up over 70 basis points, and the Dow Jones is also up over 70. All right, let's take a look at the Delta stock, DAL. All right, so it looks like there was a negative divergence here for Delta, so we were kind of forming these higher highs on weaker breadths, so massive lower highs being formed on these higher highs. So we saw a breakdown for Delta stock. We were down a little bit over 16%, and now we're just starting to trade sideways. So Delta and Boeing have kind of like a very similar pattern. If you identify like this higher lows, that is the trend line that they've validated consistently. It's just been you push higher, come back down, validate that support, push higher, validate that support, push higher, validate that EMA. Right now we're testing that support, and Boeing has almost the same exact pattern. You'll notice that it also has like this higher lows, and it's just been validating those levels. So for Delta, I would watch that support level, see if it gets validated, kind of aligned at those moving averages of $42. But if you do see any type of a breakdown from those levels, then the next strongest support I would watch is going to be sitting roughly at 37.50. Previous support, previous resistance. So we had a resistance there, we sold off, broke out, back tested that support before pushing higher even further. So first level to watch would be this higher low, to see if we get a very similar pattern of consolidation here and then a breakout to the upside. If for any reason we see a breakdown, then the next support would be 37.50-ish level. At that point, it would also be forming some type of head and shoulders pattern, because then this would be the shoulder, a head, and this could be seen as a right shoulder for a potential breakdown. So, we'll kind of reassess if Delta breaks down below this higher low, but the first support level, the near term, is going to be this higher low pattern. That would be the level to watch. All right, so NEO 4630, we're just hovering at around that level, 2% in the greens. All right, so there we go. QQQ fully reversing. That's why I let the candles close, right? That's why it's so important for the candles to actually close before making a decision, because even though that 5-minute candle in the moment was actually breaking down, but you'll notice that towards the end, buyers stepped in, pushed us back to this lower high or this symmetrical triangle, and now we're starting to see some more follow through. Not to say that this is actually a breakout. Again, we're going to have to let a few more candles to actually break out over 350, 351 to see if we can actually go up even higher. All right, so Tesla's now at 681, 682. NEO is at 4640. AMC is pulling back a little bit, down about 3%. And Amazon just trading at 35.17 levels. And Apple is flat as well, so 43 basis points. Bull flag on NEO Caddy. Yeah, so on the 5-minute chart, yeah, we can make an argument. So Tesla just had another alert, 682, 3.9, almost 4%. So let's take a quick look at our daily chart for Tesla. So we're seeing that green candle follow through. That's good. We're almost there. We're almost there to see a successful breakout outside of this descending triangle, because this is a logarithmic scale. If you don't have a logarithmic scale, and I know that a lot of people use non-logarithmic scales. If I pull Tesla up here, and if I use this as a non-log scale, you'll notice that even yesterday's rally could have been seen as a breakout for Tesla. So you would have been over here, as opposed to the line that we had earlier. So it would have been more like this, as opposed to when you're using log scales, changes up a little bit, right? So yeah, if it holds up, depending on the volume here, we could see a successful breakout in place. So 9 million already traded, so already at half the amount, the average 10-day volume, and it's not even 30 minutes into the trading session. So NEO pulling back below 46.30 once again. Seeing a pullback here, so 46.12. We're still up 1.5% still. But the Dow Jones and the S&P are seeing a pullback here, a reversal. Interesting. So Coca-Cola and Exxon basically turned red for the Dow Jones. All right, let's pull up AMD. Wow, 3%, not bad. $86. Definitely a strong move on AMD stock. Yeah, so definitely outperforming the Nasdaq, definitely outperforming a lot of stocks out there. Let's take a quick look at Nvidia. Up 1.4%, so 772. Strong move for tech across the board, right? So PayPal is up another 1%. PayPal has got a really steep target, in my view. The target next is at 309, which is actually not that steep if you think about it. It's only a 6% gain from its current levels. So, but it's definitely overbought. I mean, the RSI is at 74. You'll notice that a lot of stocks, when they do get up together, when they do get up to an overbought level, then it becomes a bit of a challenge to kind of have more steam. Like Amazon has moved up as the price has moved up, right? So it's very easy for us to identify this entire run-up that we've seen in the relative strength index as the price has gone up here. You know, you can identify that across the board for a lot of stocks. Like Apple has moved up, not quite overbought yet, so I still think that Apple has more upside. But Nvidia, you know, very simple example, like trading all the way, like here, with the price rallying higher. Take a look at AMD. So not quite overbought yet. So we do have more upside here for AMD. Let's take a look at Fiverr. So Fiverr, same thing, you know, running up higher here. A lot of stocks have ran up, right? It's gonna be like this weekend. I've got a lot of research to do. I've got like I think over 100 tickers to actually go over. But it's kind of difficult now to find actual deals, right? When it comes to stocks that are great deals for breakouts and things like that, it's kind of a challenge at this stage, because everything's just this week and past week, everything was just like running. It's just been, you know, through the roof. Let's take a look at Qualcomm. So Qualcomm, so for Qualcomm, there is a resistance at closer to this 140 level. Again, previous support, you know, back tested resistance here, and strong support for Qualcomm as well at these levels at close to 123. All right, yeah, so Suarez, thank you so much for reminding everybody that. So please make sure that you guys drop a like. It really helps out the channel here. So Suarez, yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate you as well. All right, so AMD is continuing on that push higher. We're seeing a little bit of reversal at Nvidia. Skills. Now let's take a look. Up over 6%. Strong move to the upside for Skills. I think there was some analysis here. Yeah, so this right here was the complete breakdown for Skills. $17 is kind of like the support. We saw sell-off, consolidation here, and now we're seeing that breakout for the company as well. So $22 is going to be the seeing your handsome face makes my day. I appreciate that. Thank you. So $22 is going to be the resistance level moving forward for Skills. Definitely a strong breakout. I see more upside for this. Follow through up until another 8.5%, closer to 8% move if the volume hangs up there. All right, let's take a look at the markets here. Nasdaq did trade as high as 350.88. We're seeing a little bit of a pullback, but nonetheless, 85% or 85 basis points gain on the day is still pretty good. It's really high for the Nasdaq. Again, trading as high as, what is it, 14,385 record levels. The record is 14,389. So strong move for the Nasdaq here. All right, so we got staples now winning. Energy is now the biggest loser on the day. Tech is flat. And now healthcare is coming in at a close third. Well, not a close third, close second. But staples really took off, 29 basis points. What stocks are in the consumer staples? Let's take a look at what stocks are actually making up the staples here. Oh, Palmatic is 39.2. Wow. That is incredible for Palmatic. Up another 8.7%. That's amazing. That is amazing. Averages, so 39 is actually in fact the resistance, but beyond target at closer to $4. I mean that's and that's Pubmatic. But I mean, you know, congratulations in this. Definitely a strong move for Pubmatic. The thing with Pubmatic is float, trade, and short. So you didn't need to. So retail, you don't. Oh, there we go. APPS, Digital Turbine. Also, this is a swing trade. Like now it's approaching. You know, it takes about a few. I would say we'll actually get to our target. So again, this was a profit target dollars that we were kind of focusing on, and you know, you'll notice that we almost the analysis, you know, and we broke out once. A lot of people locked in profits here. I know that a few people entered at this next back tested support. So now that we're seeing that strong move to the upside of 14.8%. So. Alright, stream is getting bad. Alright, is it better now? Let me know if it's better now. Yeah, let me know if it's better now. Alright, it should be better. Perfect. Okay. Alright, good. Because we did lose like over 100 people just with that lag. Alright, so APPS, yep, $77 is kind of like the target here. But we were talking about Pubmatic too. So Pubmatic resistance at close to this $39 level, all the way as 44 bucks. So, alright, Tesla kind of hovering over that $680 level, and we've got NIO coming down. 46.30 is still the resistance level to watch intraday, and AMD is just kind of standing up there at 2.7% with skills up over 6% on the day. No, my live connection probably is, again, not doing so well. Alright, let's take a look at some other stocks here for growth. A lot of stocks are green. I mean, they have been green, right? It's just now it starts to feel like, you know, do stocks even go down? Oz, do you think Amazon hitting 4K this year? Yes, I do believe Amazon's going to get to 4K before the end of this year. Alright, so we got MGM up over 4%, we got Tesla, Fiverr, Upwork, Square's up another 3.3, breaking out over 243 here. Twitter's up another 2%, $68 the resistance for Twitter. We'll see if that level gets validated or not. But we got Salesforce, Caterpillar, DraftKings, Shopify. We haven't talked about Shopify. There's 1522. Wow. For Shopify. Pubmatic pumped today. Mark, I know. Good thing I wasn't in on it. I already took the trade, but everybody who is in on it still, congratulations on Pubmatic here. Pubmatic and Digital Turbine, APPS. APPS also almost at, what is it, $77. But Shopify, like 1,500, absolutely incredible move, right? It's just been rallying on heavy volume here, 50% gain from just like a few weeks ago. Coinbase up another 72 basis points. We haven't really looked into where cryptos are trading. So we got Bitcoin just under 34,000. Ethereum is Ethereum just under $2,000. Turbo says 1,000 Pubmatic average 31. I'm not selling before 45. That's incredible. That's awesome. That's a great gain on Pubmatic here. Yeah, definitely a strong move. It's just watch that 50 SMA at $39. If you can get that successful breakout on the day, then there's more upside, in my opinion, for Pubmatic. MT says there is nothing to buy. Tell me about it. Literally tell me about it. The biggest challenge that I have now is to really figure out which ones are best setups for swing trading opportunities in the future, like, you know, going into next week, because everything's just been running higher, like Spotify breaking out, you know, like 3% gain on the day. We're almost on our way back up to, what is it, $279 and $280. So Shane, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate the donation. Let me take a quick look at Disney. So Disney is not quite breaking out just yet. All right, so Upstart is at 133. God. So already starting to recover here, up another 6.5%. Oof, 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 oof. But Disney, you know, there's a 50 SMA, 50 EMA sitting at 178. I would watch that level. And right now it's still kind of in this head and shoulders pattern. And the expectation is, or I would personally be establishing a position if it comes down to 167, kind of aligned with the 200 SMA. And if for us to see a successful breakout, I would watch this level for Disney, which is going to be sitting roughly at here at 181. So if there's one resistance level that I'd encourage you to keep a close eye on and watch very closely, is going to be $181. And the reason, again, is very simple, because this was a previous support here that we validated, previous support that we validated here as well, which in turn became a resistance, and it's also kind of aligned with those moving averages. So you can get that breakout here, then we can see some more follow through and some more continuation. So Dave says, I have some cash still and I don't know what to do. Yeah, I mean, I do too. Like, it's just starting to increase a little bit of cash exposure here now, because the markets are just continuing to push up at all-time highs. And remember, when markets are all-time highs, your risk goes up, right? When markets are trading at correction or a pullback of 20-30%, that's when your cash exposure needs to go down, because the risk goes down with it. Right now, the risk, as stocks go up, risk is going up, right? All right, so NEO's losing steam, that's for sure. Up on only 26 basis points. We have seen quite a bit of a pullback for NEO, down over 2.3% from the high of day. Let's take a look at some EVs here. So XL Fleet up over 6%, Tesla's up over almost 4%. We got Nikola, that's up, CCIV's up, NEO is still hanging in there, but Ride and Li Auto and XPeng, well, Li Auto and XPeng are down over 2 and 3% each. So hold your cash for a red day, a substantially red day. You will be glad you did. Yes, highly encourage that, because you know, the markets are pushing higher. It's very easy for us to get into this fear of missing out and then just buy, you know, on these breakouts and these green days. But in hindsight, we'll kind of look back and be like, oh, that wasn't a good deal. We should have waited. Yes, so we can take a look at ENPH, Enphase Energy. All right, so the resistance we had identified for Enphase, what, at 174, 175 levels. So the high for the day, 172. We're seeing a bit of a pullback here. Again, the RSI, the MACD goes without saying. The ones that we identified, we've seen a rally here for the relative strength index, just on an absolute move, kind of correlated with the price here that we've seen a rally for. And now we're seeing the R side trading as high as 68. The MACD is also, seeing a little bit of a overbought level. So we'll see if you actually do pull back, right? Right now we are seeing indications of a minor resistance getting hit at 174. Next support is going to be sitting at 150 levels for end phase energy. Dave says Dow Jones in scenario 3. Let's see. We'll see if Dow Jones is actually in scenario 3, because it could be. Don't get me wrong. It could be in scenario 3, but I still think that it's going to be on a relative basis. Going to be at an underperforming level or degree relative to the Nasdaq. In other words, Nasdaq is going to go up more than the Dow Jones index. But yeah, so VRTX pumping. You owe me a Coke. Yes, I just talked about it. I just gave you a shout out, Mark. We just talked about VRTX earlier. And we spent some time basically going over this. 2.4%, trading at 192. There's a huge gap here that we identified at close to 200, but it's just been selling off quite consistently, right? So definitely, yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean, definitely had a push higher after the sell-off. Just a consolidation here, a lot of consolidation. So the R side of the MACD absolutely made sense why we're seeing a push higher for VRTX. But yeah, going back to the Dow Jones, scenario 3, I still think that this is going to be a little bit of a scenario 2 situation here, where we see a rally here, we get rejected at these the lower high, and then kind of continue to trade in this downtrending channel. Rejected here, got rejected here, and it will only make sense why this is the lower high. We came down to these lower lows as well, so we'll see. That's scenario 2 for me. Scenario 1 will be over if you do get a successful breakout over those 34,200 level. That's the resistance, kind of aligned with that 50 SMA, simple moving average. All right, so NEO, what's going on? What's happening here? Tesla is pushing higher, up almost 4% on the day. But NEO is just quite a bit of a pullback here. So 4630 is a level. We were just struggling at that level, and then we saw a huge breakdown. So, but a lot of Chinese EVs are down. So Li Auto, XPeng are down. BYD is down as well. And Blink and Workhorse are also down. We can bring back the rocket ship to Tesla, right? Yes, if you get a successful breakout, we sure can. Alright, so the Nasdaq, let's just track the IXIC here. That's much better. 84 basis points. Let's just go to DJI. I'm going to keep this to SPX. There we go. Much better. Alright, let's take a look at Teladoc here very quickly. So, alright, let me see if I have an analysis on this here. So Teladoc, Teladoc had some type of a bear flag pattern before. I think we've done some analysis on this in the past. This right here was the bear flag. So we saw something very similar to a sell-off. Then we saw consolidation. Then we saw a sell-off, and now we're seeing a rally again. So now we're trading above those moving averages, which is good, which is very strong. But the resistance to watch near term is going to be kind of like this 168 level. Again, previous support, and that would be the level moving forward for Teladoc. Close to 168. The R side of the MACD not quite overbought yet, 61, so there's certainly more upside and more continuation for the stock moving forward. We're just starting to validate these higher lows, and we're just trading in a very tight range right now. Higher lows and higher highs kind of pattern. So yeah, so they're going to be delivering so NIO is going to be delivering, and NIO and other EV manufacturers in China as well. They're going to be delivering reporting their delivery numbers for June and the month of July. And again, let me actually see if I can pull that up very quickly for NIO. So the price, well, the delivery expectations that I have, because they maintain their guidance for the second quarter, 21 to 22,000 vehicles. So the delivery guidance that we have, 21, 22,000. In June, they need to do anything over 7,100 vehicles, and I'm pleased with that number. Because May, we did see a little bit of a drop here, and that was primarily, not due to the chip shortages. The company said that they were dealing with some new invoices and some new sort of policies in place the Chinese authorities put in place to invoice customers in a different way. So that was the official reported number is 6,711. I think so. This right here, 7,100 is the target to at least get up to 21,000, 22,000. That's the quarterly number that they gave us. But look at Tesla. Look at Tesla and AMD. These are the two stocks that are still down year to date. So AMD is down almost 6% year to date. After today, we may see that get flat, and Tesla is still down almost 4% year to date. So we're seeing that rally once again. So strong move for Tesla and AMD here. There's just a lot of stocks that are breaking out, right? I mean, there's a lot of stocks that are continuing to break out. Look at the NASDAQ at 14,400 almost. One Fast Sister, this channel is awesome. Caddy, best one out there. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I saw your comment too on my new Tesla video yesterday that somebody commented and then you responded to it. So I appreciate that. Thank you. The S&P is up 67 basis points. The Dow Jones 84 here. So NIO definitely seeing a little bit of a pullback here. So up only 40 basis points, which is normal, which is completely fine, considering that we're still range bound for NIO, right? That's the range. Yes, so we can take a look at BABA here. So BABA still has this, falling wedge pattern that we've identified for Alibaba. So pretty much flat on the day, but yesterday it was strong for Alibaba, jump of 1.68%. But we got these lower highs that we need to watch very closely. And the moving averages, of course. So undervalued, fundamentally speaking, core business is very strong. So I've said this repeatedly that fundamentally this company is undervalued, should be trading at least $300 plus. But it's just that the technicals and of course the Chinese regulations and everything related to the investigations, the scrutiny, the fines, that's keeping the stock price down, and the risk premium related to that. Yes, I was gonna say, Mark. So BABA is probably the only deals left intact, because if you look at DocuSign, all-time highs. If you take a look at Adobe, all-time highs. If you take a look at a lot of different companies that we have covered on the channel, Shopify, all-time highs. It's just all over the place. It's just all-time highs. Maybe Upstart, I put it in the same bucket, but we're up over 7% now. This one's this one's really getting that reversal. I'm not sure if anybody got in. I'll have to take a look at the Discord here to see if anybody got in on this swing trade, because I'm sure people took this as an opportunity, and I don't know if they waited or not. But definitely seeing that momentum to the upside. We'll see. Let's take a look at LUV, Southwest. So Mark says I didn't get into Upstart. Okay. So airlines, more specifically Southwest, I would consider it, at $50 a share, at the 200 SMA for a potential bounce higher or reversal trade. The RSI certainly is oversold here, coming down over 15%. Out of all the airlines, I think Southwest is probably the one that I like the most, only because of the low, what is it called? The load factor, because they need fewer people to break even on every flight, and of course the financials make a lot more sense for Southwest relative to Delta, United, and American, and so the fundamentals and the balance sheet as well. All right, so let's take a look. So AMD now up over 3%. It's $86. So is it good to swing trade Southwest Airlines? Right now, I feel like the momentum is very bearish on the stock. We're trading below the moving averages. So when stocks are trading above their moving averages, there's a higher probability. There's an analysis with the probability and the risk and reward, right? When they're trading above the moving averages, the probability for us to see more upside is high, but the reward for that is also lower. But right now, like Southwest, there's definitely upside over 18%, but the probability for us to see a reversal is quite low, right? Because the momentum is down, we're trading below the moving averages, there's no clear support in sight just yet. So I would watch that 200 SMA at $51 per share to watch moving forward. So Super Nil, what is your best bet for a swing trade for today? Well, it's kind of tough because swing trade for today only, like buying and selling today, or just buying today and for the next few days or few weeks. Yeah, what do you mean by swing trade for today? So Tesla at 685 now. So buying and selling today, or for the next few days or few weeks? Just today or a week. Okay, so if you're gonna be buying and selling something today, I mean that wouldn't be a swing trade in general. I mean that would just be like day trading. But like swing trades, I mean we have a few plays right now that are in motion, but I think the one that is really starting to recover here, I think, is Upstart. If you get that breakout over 131.50 and trade above that 21 EMA, like this wasn't the analysis. The only issue with this one was that that my entry was pegged at closer to 110. We didn't quite get down that low, and now we're starting to see that reversal already. Target's at 169, 170. Of course, now, this goes back to our discussion that now that we're trading above those moving averages, the probability for more upside is high, but the risk reward is also far worse than what we would have seen if you were getting in at 110 or 109, right? So I hope that makes sense, because you're only risking less than 8% for a 47% upside. Versus if you're just starting getting in now, your downside is over 19%, which is very high, versus 20% upside for reward. So I think it's a little give and take there. Also, it didn't show up on eToro when I was talking about it a while back. That's unfortunate. Yeah, there's different brokerages. Again, depends on what their listing and inventory is. But I know that sometimes brokerages, they don't show up with ETFs. They won't show up like specific stocks either. So it's kind of weird in that way. Tesla continuing to push higher here. Should we wholesale or add Amazon? It's kind of a tough question, Dave, there. But for Amazon, again, my price target is at 4,000. I'm not touching it. I did do some buying earlier, I think last week. And I was constantly buying, of course, at closer to 3,000, 2,900. I would consider the next buy point for me if it comes down to 3,350s or closer to 3,200 levels. Then I'll consider it. But right now, it's just not doing anything, just holding to see when that $4,000 gets hit. From its current levels, still 14% upside in my opinion, and 28% upside from like the Wall Street's estimates, right? The targets that they have, 28% upside. And a lot of it depends on the future earnings calls, right? So earnings season also coming up, July, August. We're gonna be bombarded with not only earnings, but we're also going to be bombarded with a lot of the economic data that's coming out. So this weekend on Sunday, we've got a private live stream, which is going to be, what is it? Amazon will eat your liquidity really quickly. Yeah, I mean, 2 shares is over $7,000. So we'll definitely eat your buying power. But what is this? So this Sunday, on the 27th, we got a private live stream. I will be sharing the entire calendar for the month of July, because July is, of course, another month. We've got the FOMC meeting. We've got the inflation data coming out, not this Friday, but next Friday. We got the unemployment numbers coming out. So unemployment, inflation, both CPI, PPI, we got the FOMC meeting, and we got the earnings. So all that is going to be laid out in a calendar, and I'm also creating a public calendar that everybody can look at. So all the events will be input on there. So all the members can have access to that, and they can add those events to their own calendar and be alerted for specific catalysts, both on a macro level and individual company earnings as well. So that will all be shared this weekend. Let's take a look at NNDM. So NNDM is down, I believe. Yep, so we're down a little bit closer to 2%. So definitely we saw a breakout over that bull flag, seeing a bit of a pullback here on the day today. But 933 is the resistance here. And we're still like, everyone who took the trade is still in the green here. And the volume is picking up. So nothing really for us to go over other than, just a mild pullback after the rally that we've seen. It's jumped over 21% in the last couple days. All right, so NEO, let's see if we get that recovery back up over $46. And I'll create an alert over 46.58. Skills is up over 6% here. Let's take a look at AMC. Down just about 2%. AMC's done a really good job kind of holding up. So let's take a look at RAD. So down 14%. Wow. Trading at the 200 SMA. Quite honestly, I personally don't like to trade right off that huge gap down because the momentum, the selling pressure is just too strong to catch a reversal. Oftentimes with this amount of volume already into the day, like, what is it, 8 million shares, it's like 8 times the average Sunday volume, and we're down 14%. Oftentimes it results in like just catching a falling knife, and the only way we see like a reversal here is when we gap down and then the buying pressure comes back in. So the support for this one, of course we're trading at a 200 SMA, but that would be the level to watch at closer to $17. I'll wait a few days to see if that level continues to get validated, but oftentimes with these huge gap downs and the momentum to the downside, moving averages also trading down, it's a little bit of a difficult trade just from a reversal standpoint. Caddy, is this the day we sell our Tesla and wait for it to dip back into the 500s again? I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm just holding off. I'm just going to be observing here, see if we get a retest of 540. If we don't, we're already starting to break out over that $680 level like we were talking about it yesterday. Did see a little bit of a pullback intraday, and then the buyers kind of stepped in, now jumping over 4%. So I think there's more upside to Tesla if we get a clean breakout on heavier volume. Those are the two things that we need to watch. We're already at 14 million shares. I mean, 6 million, and we're only 1 hour into the trading session. There's big money flowing into Tesla today. So yeah, $80 is the resistance for AMD. That is correct. $80 is going to be the resistance level near term. We're trading it as 86.50 intraday. So that would be the near term level to as high as like, past over $100. Let's watch. All right, so let's take so APPS hitting our target here. Congratulations to everyone who took the trade. I, of course, sold a little too early here, but here we are approaching our profit target. This trade is also closed. Yeah, strong move for APPS. And historically, every time on earnings, the stock has gone up. Like for the last 2 years, the stock has continued to push up higher on earnings, which is incredible. Like the success rate for this stock, Pubmatic at 39.44. God, everything's just way 10%. That is incredible. 10%. Strong move to the upside here. So $44 again. We're seeing that breakout over those moving averages. $44 is the next resistance for Pubmatic. I'll see what the short interest is for the company, but look at the Nasdaq. 14,400, up another 95 basis points. Dave and I have a wager, right, on scenario 3 for the Dow Jones. We'll see. But yeah, the Dow up over 80 basis points. Yes, so Pubmatic is also discussed in Wall Street Bets because of the low float and the high short interest. So definitely seeing a lot of momentum for Pubmatic. All right, so let's see if we can get that breakout for $46 for NEO. We want NEO to join the party here because most of the stocks are just rallying higher. Growth generation, we've discussed that in our, well, we haven't discussed that. We've discussed this during this live stream earlier, but I will be doing some fundamental analysis on the company as well moving forward. I'll probably do like a dedicated video. Got a lot of stocks to analyze this weekend. What is down? Let's take a look at this. Byron, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You're the best. Thank you, and I appreciate the comments. So all right, U.S. exchanges percentage change loser. So RAD is on the list, which somebody brought up. So Marcel, I was in Maine for a couple of years when I first moved there. Then I moved to New York for a couple of years. I've also lived in Minneapolis, Minnesota for a couple summers, and then I was in Boston for 2 years working and living there before finally exiting the United States. But RAD is a stock that's down over 14. We got AIH, that's up over 11%. CNXC, it's down over 8%. I'm just trying to see what stocks are actually down. 100 shares of RAD, congrats. That's great. Love the stream. Thanks, Scotty. See you tomorrow. Pratik, have a great day, great evening wherever you are. But yeah, thank you so much for joining in. Favorite restaurant in Boston? That's you're putting me on the spot. Honestly, I don't know. I didn't really, I used to work so much that I didn't really get to go out a lot to eat. And I know then we had the pandemic, and then we had, it was just like winter, snow, and like it's just like I didn't even go out that much to eat. So AMC, is it? No, AMC is not on this list. I know Singapore is great with that, no capital gains tax. It's incredible. Yeah, so AMC is on that list if you're talking about the ones that are down. A little bit over 2.4%. Nerd. No, you're right. You're probably right. I spend most of my time like just researching, reading, and most of my weekends are also like just looking at the different charts in the markets and stuff. But yeah, the AMC just under $61, $6. That's the resistance, down about 2.3% here. Look at Tesla, 686. A lot of momentum coming. Now Rita's making fun of me. Great. Everybody just make fun of Caddy today. Pubmatic at $39.91. Almost at $40. $40 almost. That is incredible. Yeah, that is a strong move. 11.5%. The volume on the day, not even 1 million. It's interesting, right? You would expect it to be very, very high volume for this thing to move higher. Yeah, so NEO's is getting rejected at those middle VWAP here, the 21 EMA. What other stocks are moving? We've covered majority of them, right? We've covered the indices as well. Nasdaq getting a little bit of a pullback here. Where do we need to get on Tesla for a breakout? We just need to stay above 685-ish levels, 685. Anything over 675 I think is a good spot to be for Tesla. Only because on the daily chart, that's going to put us above that, sort of like the descending triangle. And it's going to put us in a good situation, so to speak. We could see some more follow through and continuation for Tesla. So not stock related. Do you think Bitcoin will go back up to 60K? I do think Bitcoin has a lot of potential, both Ethereum and Bitcoin, with smart contracts and the blockchain technology. And I do believe that it is going to retest its all-time highs in the future. This is going to take a longer time though. With 50% drop, and the market cap being cut in half, again, 100% push higher for Bitcoin is quite difficult, quite challenging right now. I don't see this happening this year, but over the next few years, I do see Bitcoin retracing back up to that level. Yeah, so ARK should be rallying today, right? ARKK up over 2.4%. It's also watching ARKG today for a bull flag here. So up another 1.7%. All right, guys, so it's been about an hour and a half. It's been absolutely amazing spending time with you guys. I'm going to spend some time with our Discord members now and our Patreon members. So thank you so much for joining in. Very quick update on the markets here. Tesla continuing to rally, and AMD is also up over 3% here. So what's my expectation on Tesla leading up to earnings? We'll do specific company analysis. If you're part of the channel, we do like specific company analysis ahead of earnings. So you'll see a lot of videos on Tesla, Apple, Amazon, Shopify, Google, Microsoft, Neo. Like I'll post individual videos on each company ahead of earnings, and I'll share my thoughts and opinions as well. So thank you so much for joining in. I really, really appreciate you guys. As always, make sure that you check out the Webull and the Patreon links down in the description below to get access to our private money investing community. And hope you guys have a great day. Hope you guys have a great weekend coming up as well. And hopefully the day ends solid on a green note. And thank you so much for joining in. So appreciate you guys. Love you. Peace.